All right, Saagar, what are you looking at today?
Well, everybody, I've missed you all desperately. So much to catch up on, from vaccine passports, COVID hysteria, Afghanistan. I think I'm going to stick with the latter because it's where I have the most to say, and it directly relates to what I've been up to in the last week. Yesterday, we got the ignominious but inevitable news that the Taliban officially have taken control of Kabul in Afghanistan, with the US-backed president literally fleeing the country only hours into the siege. Suddenly, I see a lot of takes flying around. Republicans have seemingly forgotten Donald Trump is the one who penned this deal and actually pushed this same policy. No other than Trump himself says that Biden somehow has strayed from his deal and the plans. Of course, I knew this would happen since our politics does not allow for admitting that the other fella has a, point every once in a while. And I wanted to take the opportunity to state this absolutely unequivocally. I'm with Joe Biden on his withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not enough people who are genuinely anti-endless war are coming out and saying it because they disagree with him elsewhere. And I do, of course. But the elite consensus right now is that Biden's withdrawal is a disaster. I'll say this, on the margins, some things absolutely could have been done differently. We should have done a much better job of ensuring our translators and more got out, 100%. But in the end, it was probably always going to be this way. I don't blame Joe Biden. No, I choose to focus my ire on the real enemy in this discussion, the American general class, the Pentagon, the State Department, the military contractors and more, who pushed lies upon the American people for 20 years and whose fiction was finally revealed yesterday when the Taliban assumed control. Let's review, shall we? The same intelligence community, which got us into this mess, had 3 predictions on Afghanistan. First, it was that the Taliban would take 3 months to take the capital of Kabul. Then, they revised that date to 72 hours. Then, it ended up doing it in 24. Which means what? Even after 20 years, even after the failures of the Afghan forces and the corruption of the Afghan government was evident, they still could not admit the truth, that our mission there has been nothing but a catastrophic failure. I wanted to start with that, just so you get an idea of how full of it these people still are to this day. But how far back should we go? Who is responsible for this mess? Here's the answer. Everybody. George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, for not just throwing everything we had at Tora Bora and killing bin Laden so that we could get the hell out of that country. For picking Karzai. Barack Obama for falling for the general's tricks, surging troops, withdrawing them, and more, keeping them forever. Donald Trump for falling them for the same trick. But look deeper, of course. They decided, and the buck stops with them. But beneath the surface are the generals, commanders, and diplomats who justified these idiotic decisions and who pushed the presidents to make them. The people who are supposedly sworn to the American public sat in front of Congress, in front of the microphone, lied to the American people about the capability of the Afghan security forces to confront the Taliban, and who lied about our mission there to create a dependable ally in the Afghan government. The story of the Afghan war is complicated, but basically it goes like this. We invaded Afghanistan in 2001 to kill bin Laden and to punish the Taliban for giving him safe harbor to plan 9/11. We partnered with the Northern Alliance. We told them to take power. We stayed and we backed them up. Then we invaded Iraq in 2003, and we kind of forgot about the entire thing. In 2009, the situation was deteriorating because we had been backing the corrupt Karzai government, and the Taliban were actually starting to do really well. Obama said he would fight the good war. He sent thousands of American troops, but just for 2 years. It failed miserably. We transitioned to something called resolute support, or what the Pentagon calls train, advise, and assist. That mission was this. We will stay with a limited force to train the Afghan army, advise them, and assist them in their fight against the Taliban. We would do this for a limited period of time and give them the equipment so that they could handle the fight themselves. And every year since then, in 2012, since Obama ended the surge, the Pentagon and the generals in command of that effort have lied to the American public to keep their gravy train going. Consider these lies. In 2012, General John Allen said, quote, "We're winning this war." In 2013, General Dunford, who later became the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said our victory there was, quote, "inevitable" by train, advise, and assist. In 2014, General Campbell, he said he had seen the change in strategy and we would win. General Nicholson, 2017, says the situation has, quote, "fundamentally changed." In a way, Nicholson was the most honest, just that the situation fundamentally changed to ensure that this would be the end result. Why all of these lies? Because the United States has spent to date $100 billion on the Afghan National Security Forces. Billion with a B. They collapsed within 3 weeks when they actually had to fight for themselves. Not just in the outer provinces, in their capital, where they simply put down their weapons and let anybody who wants get to them. That is what these people spent our money on, sent our sons and daughters to die for. The only people who won the Afghan war are the military contractors and bankers in Dubai who got to cash all of our checks from the corrupt Afghan officials and, of course, the Taliban drug dealers. The people who lose are the working class men and women who actually had to fight this war, and of course, the Afghan people who were mostly used as pawns in this entire game. Yesterday was a tragedy, certainly, but I choose to stand up for what I believe, ending the endless war. It is not pretty. Being anti-endless war requires telling the truth. It's real easy for me to say, yeah, I'm against the Afghan war. We should get out. It's harder to say this, to see the Taliban rolling into Kabul and saying, you know what, I accept that. Saying you're against the US invasion of Iraq, that's easy. It's harder to say this, I was okay not taking the ultimate step by stopping Saddam Hussein from gassing women and children. That's the truth. The lesson of the Afghan war is that we just have to tell it. Have to tell the truth. It's horrific and it's hard to confront. But the lies are what got us into this mess, and the lies are what kept us there for so long. Only Joe Biden was willing to stand up and say the truth. It is not on us, whatever happens to that country. We did a lot and more, and from here on out, it's on them. And they made their choice. I support him for saying that, even though I have serious doubts about him as a leader in many other respects. I'll end with the real consequences. I was in France for the last week. I had the chance to indulge a long interest of mine. I walked the battlefields of the Somme from World War I. And the thing that strikes you while they were there is driving along the road and you see cemeteries everywhere, every hill, every divot, every group of trees. And in those cemeteries, there was a grave that sticks with me. Private V.J. Strugwitt, his photo of gravestone is right there on the screen. He's 15 years old. He died on January 14th, 1916. Fighting for ground which was taken, retaken, taken, retaken again. For what? 15 years old. Those are the people who pay the price, not the liars here in Washington. Ending this war means honoring the legacy of the millions of young men and women who senselessly sacrificed for nothing and confronting the truth of who we really are. Because to this date, Crystal, over 1 million people have deployed to Afghanistan.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.